Okay, so it's almost a year since Daniel and I started Scott Phillips Trading, and we thought we'd sort of just assess what we've done and where we're going to, and what we've got coming next, and
yeah, talk about
what do you think, man?
what's headed. So yeah, I think when you first came at me with this idea, right, we're traders, this is what we do. I don't think it's something we were, you know, I was looking to get into it this way, but the more we've done this, the people we've met, the traders we've worked with, the strategies, we've helped our own trading. Our trading has evolved, I think, at a much more rapid pace.
What I find is that I'm holding myself accountable.
Yes.
So
yes. If my spreadsheets aren't perfect from what I'm trading, how can I make somebody else's perfect, right? And
I remember when we built the 4-hour system.
Yeah.
When we taught the fail breakout system, I wasn't trading that system. I haven't traded it since 2014.
I remember.
And then I felt like a total fraud because I was
not
teaching something that I wasn't trading. So, and then I started to trade, and it was like, it just doesn't suit my goals anymore. And I built the 4-hour system out of that.
Yep. And
the 4-hour system is like the fail breakout system, but just a lot easier to trade, and it just, you know, it suits me better personally. And it's nice being held accountable for what you say and what you do. And you know, all the time people ask us, so if you're making all this money out of the markets, what are you doing selling these trading courses? And you know, here's the truth: I don't make $1 million a year trading.
No,
I just don't. I make a couple $100,000 in a good year. You know, I make about the same as I do in a regular job. I make about the same as I could make if I went and got a job working for someone else.
Yeah, for me, trading is a very critical side hustle. Not even side; it's a part of what I do. One of the, you know, I do a lot of sales work. Right, I work at another place, a company that I helped build, and trading has been something I've done for 12 years. I mean, I dropped out of school to trade. Right, I learned. I spent 3 years trading, no accounts, demo, back testing, learning. Right, because like any craft, you can't jump into it day one and, you know, play in the NFL, play in the NBA. You gotta cut your ropes. So I think that's where we're.
So after a year, we've got about 1,000 people who bought the price action course, and
got about 1,000? Isn't that much?
Yeah, it's 989.
Wow. See, I don't always look at the data that closely because some of you guys know, you buy it, refunds, right? We're pretty easy and laid back to work with. And I think a lot of people like that. A lot of people in this industry are very, right? That's one of the reasons I didn't want to get into this industry.
I never wanted to get into this industry.
And you talk about the people in this industry, and they're they nickel and dime you at every place. They give you these crappy courses. They think you're going to get a system that's the holy grail, but you end up getting what a candlestick is. And I'm just like, you're insulting my intelligence, right? You're telling me I'm going to get a system that's high performing, that I can trade, rules I can apply, or something that's more significant than just the same candlestick. And that's what a lot of people just do, the same sort of basic rules. Here's a trend line. Here's your double bottom.
Oh, you know what you should do? You should trade with the trend. Oh yeah, I never would have figured that.
Well, what does that mean? That was always my big thing, is what does that mean? What is the trend? How do you define trend? Oh, well, you define, that's bullshit. You gotta, how you define the trend, how you define your rules. This is what we're all about. This is where we come from. So system trading, right, and taking it to the next level, we have the price action class that's helped a lot of people with those basics, but giving them specifics. What is a trend? How to define a trend? How to define a range? How to define setups, candlesticks, different patterns, different type of trading systems. That gets us more into the system master class.
So the price action course, everyone needs to know how to read charts.
Yeah.
But reading charts by itself is not enough.
It's a component.
It's a component. It's a critical component. But the mistake that nearly everyone makes is thinking they're just getting better and better at this critical component, which happens to be the most enjoyable part of trading, right? Like the most enjoyable part of trading is when you can see the story unfolding on the chart and you know what's happening and you think you know what's going to happen, and then lo and behold it happens just like you thought it was going to, and you feel really clever. And your ego latches onto that and you get a big fucking buzz from it. And that is the enjoyable part of trading. But that's got very little to do with action.
It's one part. It's like if you're a basketball player just learning how to shoot free throws. Oh, I make 98 out of 100 in the gym. But can you play defense? Right? Can you dribble? Like you don't have the whole, can you pass? Can you do all the other things necessary to the stamina? And trading's the same thing. You need risk management skills. You need right?
Well, you just need a system.
You need a system, but all the components of that system and how you execute it is big, because now when you have that system, one of the issues becomes, are you trading that system? Are you keeping proper records? What are your goals? Is your goal to make money, or is your goal to execute your system?
How do you allocate capital to that system? How do you increase capital?
When do you decrease capital? How do you handle drawdowns? When do you change? We talk about evolving. We started this video talking a lot about evolving and how our trading's evolved, right? And systems we trade now versus... We used to trade Thor a lot more than we do now. We trade Thor now with, right, the filters around it.
Whoa.
With places where it's
just the biggest mistake we ever made was trading too many markets with Thor.
Too many markets. We learned the Laurent curve, picked that up. We applied that to our system, right? So these kind of things, but learning when you do that is challenging. And when you're real time and when market conditions are changing, in one of your emails recently, you talked about systems that used to work. You might find that they might not work. That's something you should resend every day over the next week. Because when I saw that, do you know how many times in the past I was trading something, right? Years ago, 7, 8, 9 years ago. It worked for 3, 4 months. And then things change, Brexit, and you go into these prolonged drawdowns.
Every system trader I know went through a 3-4 month drawdown.
Now, if I'm up 19R in a 3-month period, 4-month period, 2 months, doesn't matter. If I'm up 19R, and now the market conditions have changed, I'm happy to give back half. Right? Half, maybe 75, sorry, maybe 25%. No more than half to a quarter of my gains. Right, so we're looking, I still want to be up 8 to 12 hours at the end of the day. Right, and understanding how to adjust that, when to do that, right? So
anyway,
where are we at now? So let's talk
the realization that I've had recently is that I looked at all the people who bought the System Building Masterclass, and the ones who are actually really good and making a go of it, and their work is done. Like, these guys are finished. There's nothing more they can learn from me. Like, we're still in contact, but they've got their systems and they're trading their systems and they're making their money from the markets and they're doing a job. Their job is, so they've got from the start, which is not knowing anything, to the end, which is I'm a professional trader, and they just settled in and they'll settle in on this.
I would say they knew. Most of them had been trading for a while, but most of them were in system traders.
So
most of them were discretionary, shoot from the hip. Some guys had made money on investments they had, right?
So when I look at the guys who are successful, and the top sort of 8 or 10 of them, they all have execution skill. And what I've realized recently is that what's missing between a lot of people who just buy the System Building Masterclass and never take action, or try and trade one of my systems and just never quite get there, or take a system from me and then still pick and choose the entries. Like, the definition of insanity is taking a systematic approach and then trying to guess which system entries are going to be best. Like, that doesn't really work very well.
It's challenging. I've done it. I'm sure everybody's done it. Right, you've done it.
Eat from the buffet.
Right.
I feel like a bit of this. Right. I feel like a bit of that. Oh, that's a this. Oh, that's a that setup. Ooh,
and being an execution trader and having a system and trading it perfectly, keeping proper records is something that we urge everybody to spend time doing. So to spend time learning a system.
So when I look at the people who are really good, when I got to be actually a good execution trader was when I was working with Ivan, taking 10 trades a day, and you were trading these 15-minute and 5-minute.
I've traded every time frame, every time.
But I've taken over 10,000 lifetime trades. You've taken that for sure.
Probably taken closer to 25,000.
Yeah, for sure.
I've overtraded. One of my issues early on, anybody that can relate to that's watching this, is overtrading. One of the first days I got 3 monitors. This was like 2009. I got 3 monitors. I made some money, shorting. I got my new futures account. You know how many trades I placed day one? 200 round trips.
Oh no.
200 round trips. Yeah, 200 round trips.
So anyway, so what we came to is I look at the guys who are really good, like Maxie Walker, like Massey, like Peter van der Oost, there's a couple of others, and they're all expert execution traders. So what I was thinking of is the next journey for us is how can we get these guys who are maybe price action masterclass customers just learning how to read the charts, how can we turn them into someone like Daniel, who's a really a world-class execution trader. He's actually a much better execution trader than me because he's simply done more of it.
Yeah.
And so what we're...
And the key is it makes you look at the market differently, because now the anxiety you have about which way is the market going to go next.
I don't have that.
I don't have that. And once I lost that, honestly, trading to me became, I hate to use the word boring because I still love trading, but it became very boring, where this excitement, almost like you're betting on games or something, or you're at the casino.
There's no thrill of victory.
That's not what it feels like. It feels like a very intellectually.
So here's the thing.
Here's
the thing that we've got coming up for you is that we're currently designing a system. Actually, we're resurrecting an old system, and we've got a version for FX and a version for SPYs, which is an index ETF traded in America, and we're going to trade it on either 10-minute or 15-minute charts. We haven't.
We started with the 5. Actually, started trading yesterday. Was the first day.
The 5 was too hectic.
The 5 was too difficult. Ooh, it's way too challenging. You would have to use less setup.
So here's the thing.
What is the point of the system? Talk about the system. Talk about what we're trying to develop.
So here's the thing. How do you learn anything most efficiently? Like you can drive a taxi for 20 years and you still won't be Michael Schumacher, right? Because you're not actually getting better at driving. You're just getting in the taxi and going from A to B. And trading is a lot like that. There are guys who've been trading for 20 or 30 years, but they're not actually that good. So what we'd like to do, so if you want to get better at something in a structured way, like say I get better at my martial arts in a very structured, systematic way.
Or lifting. Lifting's a great example.
Yeah. So
you have to lift.
So the optimal way to learn anything is to be challenged but not overwhelmed.
Right.
So
you're breaking new barriers.
So if I say to Daniel, let's do some sparring, and I just punch him in the face 10 times, has he learned something? I mean, I've had fun, but
pain. Maybe my pain tolerance has increased. So the next time you punch me 10 times, it'll hurt slightly.
But you haven't learned anything.
I haven't learned shit.
But if I slow it down to the point where I say, okay, this hand is
we're gonna spar
this hand is blocking there, and well, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
But if I slow it down to the point where he can actually do it, instead of just going, oh, bam, geez, what'd you learn there?
Right. Shot in the face.
So what we want to do is we want to design a systematic training program that is going to take you from zero to hero. So from being a guy who knows charts to being a guy who can execute with the best of hedge fund traders, with the best of institutional traders. And so
you feel confident executing any system.
Any system.
If you're trading intraday, if you're trading daily, weekly, and that's the one of the big things.
So here's the thing: we've got this system that's very, very challenging to execute. It's like the hardest system you're ever going to do. But the advantage of this system is that it's completely black and white. There's no middle ground.
There isn't, and we're fine tuning the exact rules because there's a variation.
It doesn't.
But when you have the specific format for it, you have decisions at every bar. Every bar is going to be a buy setup or a sell setup, or you're already going to go
adjusting stops,
or you're adjusting stops,
or taking profit,
or setups in the same direction. Now, this is where things start to get complicated. You're long and short at the same time, right? And your broker might show that you're only long 2,000, but you're not. You're long 10,000, short 8,000. And there's your long 2,000, and your records have to be perfect because when you look back at it in the day and you go, "What happened?" Your broker is going to have a lot of.
Okay, so back to the thing. We're building this complicated system, and the system will make money, but its aim is not to make.
It's okay.
Its aim is not to make money. The aim.
It may make money in certain market conditions. The favorites, it may make really good money.
On average, it'll make a little bit.
It is a very exhausting system to trade. It's tiring. It raises your level of concentration. Your first day doing it, you'll be tired after an hour.
So here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You're going to start off paper trading the system. And then we're going to do, and then once you can paper trade the system for 2 hours at a stretch, then we're going to go to real money, but very small size.
$100 hours.
$50 hours.
$50, $100 hours, little.
Tiny amounts.
Tiny.
But what we're going to do is we're going to start off with doing 30 minutes a day. Just 30 minutes a day, enough that no one's going to get overwhelmed and blow out and go until.
I did 2 hours yesterday.
I bet you'll burn out.
I was doing other things too. I was also.
But you're a good trader. Like we're talking.
Right.
So the goal
I was tired.
So the goal is to get.
It was a little tired.
So if 2 hours tires out emotionally an expert trader, we want to get you from being an average trader and systematically work up. And the idea is we have a benchmark for what is good trading. Good trading is making one mistake every 20 trades or less. So every time you go through 20 trades with making one or less mistakes, you can increase a bit of time.
Yep.
And then when you increase, and you increase a bit of time, and then you increase a bit of time, and then eventually you're doing 2 hours a day of this very complicated system. And at that point, we can call you a legitimately expert execution trader. Even if you're only winning and losing 50 bucks at a trade, you know, even if you're only making 100 or 200 bucks a day, that couple of months that you're going to spend getting you from there to here, you're going to take.
It teaches you how to execute a system. It teaches you to maintain proper records. It teaches you psychology. There's a lot of psychology that you're going to start to feel a lot of.
And you're going to make thousands of trading decisions.
Thousands of trading decisions, and you're going to have all these, especially early on, I found all these urges, these discretionary urges, and you'll have multiple opportunities to deal with them, recognize them, and work on the goal, which is executing your system. Now, there are systems where you might want to put discretion in. This system is not one of them. This system, and you guys will see that as you trade that, it complicates it to a level that you don't want to do. Nobody can do well. So when you do this, then you move on to a system that you're trading at production value.
So this is not. This is not
a boot camp.
This is not the best system in the world.
Right.
This is a learning exercise designed to turn you into someone that I would say is a legitimate execution expert, someone that I would trust to trade with my own account. Because you know, Daniel trades with my account when I go on holidays, because I know that when he executes my systems, there's not a baked bean worth of difference between the way he executes them and the way I execute them. I look at the spreadsheets and go, yeah, of course you didn't make a mistake. Of course you did it right. Of course you did. You have to be an idiot not to do it right. Like, I trust you. I trust you to do it right.
Right.
And you trust me to do it right.
Exactly. This is critical.
Like I'm not coming back to Daniel and saying, yeah, I know we should have taken that setup, but I just didn't like it. You know, you'd be like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's shit.
Well, I would be, even hearing you say that, I'd be stunned. I could see you saying, you know, you skipped it for certain specific routes, you have size, and even that, I feel like unless we've got together and discussed the trade, we're accountable. We're accountable, and that's critical, because if you're not, then what do we do?
So anyway, so what we're talking about building here is something, we haven't talked about a name, but it'll, you know.
We haven't talked about a name or anything like that. We're kind of still in development, early ideas. This is just, we're freestyling.
Yeah, if you've got ideas, if the community has anything to contribute about what
we're going to do a survey soon as well. We have a survey I'm putting together. I want to get some people's thoughts and opinions, how we can help everybody take their trading to the next level where you feel comfortable trading any system at production value, what that is to you. Whether you're trading a small account with a 5, a 10, a 50, a 100, $1 million account, whether you're taking $100 Rs, or 1,000 or 10,000.
So what I reckon we should do now is
where you feel comfortable doing that day in, day out.
Let's switch to a screen capture and let's do some of this system bar by bar.
Let's go ahead and add this. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do it.
All right, so I'm here with Daniel, and we've been spending a couple of hours. We're just starting to work up our intraday skill building system. Now, this is a system, and the purpose of this system is to develop extraordinarily good intraday execution skill. And you're going to see why in a moment. Now, with any new skill that you learn, the idea is that we gradually layer complexity over the top of it, so it's challenging but not overwhelming.
And you can grow. It really
so you can
grow and develop your skill and become a better.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to walk through the price action bar by bar for a whole day. I've got our spreadsheet here, but we're not going to fill out our spreadsheet properly. We're just going to mark in like this was a 1R, this was a half an R, this was
We're still developing the spreadsheet a little bit, how to track all this. This is day one right here.
This is day one.
We're showing where this is a behind the curtains look into us developing this process over the next few weeks to a month here. Yeah.
All right. So this is a 10-minute chart of the SPY index ETF, which is pretty similar to the E-mini futures. You could use them interchangeably. It's almost exactly the same. So this is before the open. So we're going to
open up the first bar. So I traded this yesterday, the first day, and I was doing this on a 5 minute. My initial idea for everybody was to do this on a 5, and I found it unmanageable. I found it really, really difficult, and I found a 15 was a little too slow to develop the skill necessary. So I'm kind of settled at a 10 right now.
I think a 10 is a good
10
place.
looks good for the SPY. So jump into it, Scott. Run through the bars.
So this is the first bar off the open. So what we have here is we have to ask ourselves on every bar, do we have a buy setup or do we have a sell setup? And if we do, you need to place both orders.
Correct.
Okay, so here we have a fake out sell. So if it breaks the low of this bar, we're going to be selling it and shorting it. And we don't have a buy setup.
And we have a gap open sell as well. So
we have
a fake out and a gap open.
It's a fake out gap open sell.
Off the open, yep, sell. And so you got to sell there, you got to buy, you got to stop at the top, and you open up the next bar. Order's placed.
So our order is placed. We get short here.
Yes.
Do we have a buy setup? So our stop is just above this bar here. Do we have a buy setup? Yes, we do. We have a failed shooting star if it breaks the high of this bar.
Do. I missed this one yesterday. I missed this.
I missed it too.
We were going through it, and I looked at it, I'm like, I don't have a buy. Failed shooting star.
So that's the first mistake. So this is a very challenging technical system to trade. Actually, let's make it big so we can see. Okay, so we have a failed shooting star long. We are already short. We have significant high, lower close, higher close. So we have a retest variation sell. Yes, we cannot take that retest variation sell because we're already short.
It's too much.
We're already short.
Too much.
You can't take two shorts in the one direction unless you're already at break even. So, but what it does do is we have a rule in our system.
We have a timed exit.
We have a time exit that if you don't make 1R by the end of the third bar, you exit. But we call that the shot clock. But if we break the low of this bar,
we're going to reset the shot clock because we have a setup in the same direction.
Exactly.
So as opposed to doubling up.
Okay, so let's recap. Bar number 2, we are short. If it breaks the low of this bar, we reset the shot clock. The stop is above here, and if it breaks the high of this, we are long with the stop loss here. Correct. So let's see what happened.
We are.
Ooh.
Okay, we're still short.
We're short.
We got the shot clock reset.
Okay.
Our stop remains at the high and
our stop remains here.
Our buy is canceled from the previous bar.
We have to cancel this buy.
And now do we have a new buy order?
We do not.
We do not? There's nothing there?
That first setup looks like it's going to be a loser, man.
This is nothing.
This is nothing.
Had a lot of feelings over this yesterday. Why is this nothing? Right? You want to catch every bar. You don't
okay.
So that's part of the system. There's no buy setup.
Our initial gap open sell is a loser.
Stop that.
Okay, so let me -1.
No. You have a place for it. Nah, dude. Come on.
Where am I putting it?
And you could put that on the screen. Put the size right in there, 120. And what's the exit? The exit is 264.38.
I don't want to fill it out, Toby. I just want to column with where does the R value go?
Oh, it's over to the right, dude. I have it built like a beauty. Here, why don't you just change here? You want to change this? Here, change this one.
No, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to for today because
it's not going to work. You have to delete it. I would just go back and use one of the other columns like the other column. Keep running through it. Don't worry about the spreadsheet. They can't see it anyway. Show the next.
Okay, so today I'm not filling out the full spreadsheet with like the time, the symbol, buy, sell, any of that stuff. Today I'm just going to mark in the actual results, and we're going to build that extra skill in the coming days in a very systematic manner. So today I'm just going to mark my first trade is a 1R loser, and my equity curve is showing -1. I'll come back to that in a moment. All right, so we are not long, we are not short, we have no position.
Yep.
We are down and off for the day.
Yep. We have a fake out sell now. We have a setup. Let's not jump ahead.
Sorry.
We have a sell setup right there.
So we have a spike high. We have a break of a spike high. If it falls below here,
you're going to be short with a stop at the high.
Exactly so.
Now there is no buy setup. We also don't want to be buying highs and lows of the day in this way. That's a negative edge.
Yep.
In this setup with these rules. So we're going to go on to the next bar.
Okay, so we have a sell setup.
Yep.
That sell setup has to be cancelled because the low was not broken. We have a fake out inside period sell and a buy.
Yes.
Now, so we place both a buy and a sell order. Let's see if they're filled. Now we have a double inside period sell. Now, ordinarily we would place our stops at the spikes.
Yeah, ordinarily. But we were discussing this setup. This is a setup that we should make an exception for.
A double inside period
because it will lead to a higher volatility movement, a large increase in price. So you can have a multi-R quickly if you just tighten your stops a little bit.
So we have a double.
You can also get caught on the whip as well.
We have a double inside period. We're going to go short if we break here. We're going to go long if we break here. So let's see what happened. Whoa!
We're short. We got profit on there.
We have profit, so we're banking. Half the trade at 1R, and then we initiate a trailing stop. So we've clearly made more than 1R. 1R is about here. So we've banked 1R, and we've put our stop for the trail right here.
Excellent.
Or at break even or trail.
Well, we'll go through the specifics. Yeah, either break even or trail, whichever is better. We'll get all the
I think
rules.
break even or trail, whichever is better.
Yep.
Okay. So the next bar. We're still in profit.
Sure.
Trail is here.
Trail is here. Now you may have the full 3R. We want to be getting out full 3R limit on the remainder.
Okay.
So
let's work that. So let's work that out
because that's important. That could give you a 2R for the trade.
Okay.
And make this a really nice win.
Okay. So the high is 270.05 and the low is 269.71. So that's 34 plus 1 on each side is 36.
36 range. And would you go to the low? What's the low? What's the low of that bar?
269.65.
The shooting star bar moved over.
Sorry.
The low is 671, and what's the low of the current bar?
So 70.
And the low of the current bar is 52. So what was that? $1.20. And what was our range? 36. So we have close. So we have close to a 3R.
So our range was 36 by 3. Is 108. So that is 3R. Is that right?
Do 36 times 3. 36 times 3 was 108?
Hold on. So
doing math real time here, guys, even with a calculator.
Okay, so the low is 71 and the high is 70 is the next one up plus 0.5. So that's 29 and 5 is 34 plus a tick for the high and the low is 36. So 36 minus
times that.
So 108 minus 70 is 38. So
38, and it got as low as, what was that? Was that 20? It got as low as 20.
Okay, so we've made 3R.
Wait, the 20 or 52? The Saxo, it's 52. Look, the crosshair moves. That's 52. It is not a 3R.
Okay.
It got a little beyond 2R. It didn't get all the way there.
Okay.
So we are trailing and we're out on the trail. So all that math, we didn't get the 3R we were trying to get the math for, but we have a nice win here. We booked the 1R.
Okay,
what are we booking the remainder?
So
29.29.
So it's 29.30 because our stop was 1 tick above that. So
you booked the 0.7 of an R there.
No, so we booked
all in.
So we booked 0.4 on 36. So we booked 40 tickets. 40 ticks profit on
a 30
on a 36 tick R value. So it's 40 divided by 36, so and we got 1.1 on half the trade by 0.5 plus 0.5. So we got a 1.05 R winner. Cool. So I'll put 1.05.
I'm going to have this calculating automatically in the spreadsheet, so you don't have to do this in
This is just day one.
Yeah, so this is just day one, showing you guys how this is all coming together.
So I've got a 1R loser, a 1.05 R winner, and here we go. We just keep moving with it. So you can see how...
a couple more bars, and then, yeah.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a retest variation sell, clearly, right?
We do.
Okay, so we have
spike high there. So the highest high in the last 10 bars. The high of the day. That's a very significant high. We're retesting that here. We got to sell. Where's our stop in the sell?
Up here.
All the way up there. So.
Okay, so we have a sell order. We don't have a buy order, right?
Correct.
Okay, we have not had an entry because this is an inside bar, a bar with a lower high and a higher low than the previous bar.
Yep.
Okay, so we don't have a retest because this is more than 5 bars.
But that's not a significant low.
So we have a inside period buy and an inside period sell setup. So we place both the buy and the sell orders. Whoa! We sell. Our sell is filled. We make 1R and we initiate a.
Do we make 1R? What's the range? Let's just double check.
Yeah, it's more.
Yeah, it looks like 1R for sure.
For sure.
Well, no, because our stop is all the way at the high.
No, because this is an inside period.
Inside period, we're going to keep it at the top? No, we're going to use a spike high. It's the dip that we're going to do.
This is a spike. This is a spike.
That's your spike right there.
It's a spike.
Yep.
You can see how challenging this is.
That's where your stop is at the green bar, not all the way at the high.
So even a guy like Daniel
just made a mistake real time there. Exactly, putting the stop at the wrong spot.
All right.
So here we go.
So we are short. We've banked half the trade at 1R. Our stop is at break even, and we're going to initiate a trail. Do we have a buy set up? We have a fake out buy. If it breaks above here, we're going to be long. Okay. Do we have an inside bar? The low here is 262 to 220. So we don't have an inside bar here. We're short and we're trailing. So our stop is at the high of the bar. We have half an hour banked. We move. We have the lowest low in 10 bars. So we're out on our trailing stop. We have a retest of this low, which is the lowest low in 10 bars. This hammer is a retest of the low. So if we go above this high, we're long. If we break the low of this hammer candle, we're short on the failed hammer. So we have both buy and sell orders to place, and we are out of the short trade for roughly, without eyeballing it, this looks to be about
a little more than
0.3,
like a 0.2 in the remaining half. And did you get a 1R in the first chunk? You did,
yeah,
right?
So we've got about a 0.7.
You did a 0.7. So that's 3 trades. I just want to show you how many hours are you here into the day. Each bar is 10 minutes. What are we up to in the day? 1, 2, 3.
10, 11, 12.
That's about 12 bars. So you're looking at 2 hours right into the day here. This is 11:30 in the morning.
And you can see, so after 2 hours of trading 10-minute charts, we have a 1R loss. We have a 1.05 R win, and we have a 0.7 R win. So we ended up the day
just about an hour, 2 hours in. But it's not about the result here that matters. Open up the rest of the day just to show them before we end this clip here.
So let's run through it quickly.
Yeah,
So we have both a buy and a sell order here. This is a retest concept of this low. So we are long. Our stop is here. Do we have a sell? No, we don't. Okay, so we're stopped out for a 1R loss. Okay. We have a trend trade sell.
Yes.
So we go short on the.
Are we at the low of the day though?
No, we're not at the low of the day.
There we are. We gapped open. Look where we gapped open. We're at the low of the day.
Oh yeah, good point.
So yeah, this is not.
So we have a long here.
Yep. What is the long? Shooting star. Now we have a hammer there at the lows. Is that in the setup? Is that a gap open? Nothing. What do we have going on there?
We have I can feel myself getting mentally fatigued now.
You see that? Yeah. And we just ran through this one as well. We just ran through all of yesterday.
This is about how straight up about 15 minutes of this, I could actually feel the mental fatigue coming in. So this is really, really interesting. This is where we're at. This is where we're at day one. 15 minutes of this stuff exhausts us without even doing real trading. It's just paper trading.
And what we're going to get to is you and I will be trading this over the next month here. I'll be doing the SPY each day. You're going to be doing...
I'm going to do FX.
You're going to do FX. So anybody who is not able to trade U.S. markets in the morning, if you're able to trade Australian hours, Asian hours, Indian hours, Scott's going to be coming at those time frames. And together, we're going to show you guys how you can trade in this kind of a way, build your skill, and become an expert execution level trader where you're comfortable trading any system. Because the exposure this is going to give you, right, Scott?
Yeah, so
how much exposure do you get trading daily charts? Can you build this kind of skill? Not as rapidly. It's going to take you years of trading a system.
So what we just did there is the equivalent of about 2 weeks of
this is more than 2 weeks. How many bars?
Way more than 2 weeks.
This is about a month. We just traded a month worth of daily.
So the big point is that every bar there's a decision to make. Do I have a long setup? Do I have a short setup? Right. Where do I place my stop? Right. Do I bank profits? Like it's just this constant decision-making process just turns you into this execution trader machine.
Yes.
And once you can master this, if you can master this, every other system that I've ever built is just a walk in the park compared to this.
And then you can trade multiple systems together in a daily time frame.
This is
you can manage them. This is how it works. So thanks, guys, for listening in. We'll have more for you.